Good afternoon, baseball fans. This is Suzy Fulton for Bourbon and Baseball. This is Sunday, March 19th, Season 2, Episode 13. I was smart this time and checked before I hit record to see what fucking episode we are on. I didn't give you the warning. I apologize for the F-bomb before I gave you the warning. So if this is the first time you guys are checking out the show, I apologize. Put your kids away. I don't know. Keep your kids around. I don't care. It's a rated R. It's a rated R podcast, Tom. Don't tell me it's NC-17. It's rated R, okay? It's rated R. We drop some F-bombs. Maybe it does go over the allotted limit of F-bombs, but whatever. We say the F-bombs. We do the inappropriate adult humor, and we take the drinks. So it is Bourbon and Baseball, but guess what? I'm the motherfucking boss. This is not bourbon. We have the shots today because today's episode of Bourbon and Baseball, we're going to take the shot in our dugout mug. Dugout mugs sponsor me. Of a vodka, because that's the only thing I have in the house. And we're going to pour one out for our short king, Jose Altuve. So if you're not an Astros fan and you are happy that Jose Altuve got hurt in the WBC, then you could just go fuck yourself, because that's not a thing that we do. That's not a thing we do. We don't wish injury on anybody, except for Mike Friars. I don't care. I don't even care. But I'm gonna pour one out for our short king, Jose Altuve, and that in my dugout mug. That's what we're gonna do. So,
and if you haven't been following, if you have not been keeping track, Jose Altuve was hit by a pitcher, Daniel Bard, in the WBC last night. Initially, it looked like it might have been something with his left hand. We have now found out that it is his right thumb. The ball glanced off his left hand into his right thumb, breaking his right thumb. They're saying a minimum of 8 to 10 weeks. So if he's a fast healer, we'd make it him back in May. But if I'm the Astros, give the short king all the time he needs. There's more than enough bullets in the gun to get the job done between now and the time he's ready to go. Obviously, this is not how you want to start the season, but if any team is equipped to handle a loss like this, it is the Houston Astros in their lineup, because it is incredibly deep, and there will be plenty of options to plug in at the leadoff position for your Houston Astros.
Sir, FYI, if this is the first time that you are tuning in and you're expecting Suzy and Shelby, and that is not Shelby. It's not. That's Thomas. It's Tom, our good friend Tom. He's filling in for Shelby today because Shelby had a family emergency. And so Tom has been a frequent guest host on our show because Shelby has a life. I don't, and apparently. So
neither
Tom
does Tom.
I wasn't going to go there. I that's not what I was insinuating, Tom.
That's okay. I'm with it.
Okay.
I work out. I love sports. That's me.
Hey,
that's it.
That works. So, but like I said, Tom is gracious enough to co-host with me because I'm not brave enough to apparently just talk to a screen by myself about the sports. So Tom is gracious enough to sit with me and co-host Bourbon and Baseball. This is like your 43rd episode co-hosting with. That's not an actual number because I think we've only recorded like 37 episodes, but you know, it is what it is at this point.
I definitely love coming in, having a drink. Although I do not have an adult beverage in front of me, still trying to potentially be responsible later. So there will be a shot poured in honor of our short king at a later hour. It's still 2:11 currently.
Nope. No, I am the boss, and I've only had the one shot. So I'm chasing that shot with the water. So it all evens out in the end because people are like, oh my God, Suzy, what? You're taking a shot? Now, granted, if I took the shot and then followed it up with like 3 other shots and I don't know, like drinks, you know, you could judge me then. But, you know, I do actually have to do math homework after this. So we're only going to take the shot and then drink the waters. So I'm being semi-responsible. Anyhow, I'm sad. I'm sad about our short king. Look, I got my husband, because he loves me and he knows that I will never buy this for myself. And I mentioned off the cuff that I wanted a Jose Altuve Pop Funko.
Funko.
That was not the word that had was going to come out of my mouth real quick. So my mouth is like, oh, an F word? We know what F word Suzy wants to say.
Pre-programmed.
Funko, okay? So if you are audio only listener, I am holding up the cutest little Jose Altuve Pop Funko. My husband bought it for me because he knows that I would never buy it for myself, and it's freaking adorable. And it's about the same height as the real Jose Altuve.
Oof.
It's not. Our short king. I love our short king, okay? I love all 5, 6 of him. All of him. I love him. And I'm so freaking sad that Daniel Bard had no freaking control. What?
Fun fact, I also own the same Jose Altuve Funko Pop. My little brother hooked me up. Obviously, knows, diehard fan. So I have the same one, not in arm space, or I would, present it as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's okay. I didn't prepare you for this. I didn't prepare you for the alcohol, Tom. I didn't prepare you for the Funko. That's how I roll.
I would have had the shot teed up. Potentially, I would have had the Funko teed up.
Potentially.
I mean, it could have been a clear liquid that we would have called Tito's handmade vodka.
Right. Listen, I can talk to a screen for like 3 minutes while you tee that up, Tom. Okay. Like that, I don't have a problem. Like the entire 45 minutes is what I have a problem with. Okay. However, if you're not following the WBC, which is the World Baseball Classic that has not been played since 2017, it is
one you should be. You should be.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but the World Baseball Classic is awesome, and I refuse to hear any slander. It is something that if you're not paying attention, it is so cool because these players are going all the way in. They are bleeding their country's colors every night, and you can see it. The fans too. And I'll stop there. I'll pass the rock, but I'm telling you, amazing stuff.
You want to talk about locked in, you want to talk about playoff atmosphere. It is World Series atmosphere times a bajillion, y'all. Okay. Again, if you've listened to the show, if you were a listener, you know that I did not start watching the baseball till 2018. So obviously I missed the last World Baseball Classic, and I'm fucking sad about it. Okay. Like I really honestly believe had I been a fan and I saw that Adam Jones catch, I probably would have like rocketed myself to the motherfucking moon. Last night's game between the US and Venezuela, I died. There was yelling. There was so much yelling. All of the yelling. When Trey Turner hit that grand slam, I really wish I had like a react video because there was all of the cuss words. All of the cuss words. Elation. So, I mean, quite on, I'll be real. I'll be 100% transparent and honest with y'all because that's who I am as a person. I did not have USA beating Venezuela because I did not trust our pitching. Didn't trust it. And rightfully so. But I didn't. I thought Venezuela was going to beat us. And it looked grim. It looked very grim. Very, very grim for a little while there. We came out hot. USA came out hot. Very, very hot. We singled off of Martin Perez. Basically, every single pitch that Martin Perez threw at us, our Moogie Betts, single. Mike Trout, sing. I was like, oh, we're just going Batman did death. All right. Martin Perez didn't get out of the first inning. And Martin Perez is not a bad pitcher. Martin Perez freaking rocked for the Texas Rangers last year. But we just teed off on him. Team USA just fucking teed off on him. Martin Perez said, here, let me throw you this pitch. Oh, just kidding. You can hit that too? Oh, shit. Let me throw you something up. Omar Lopez had to like get him out, put in somebody else that nobody had seen. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then replace that guy with Luis Garcia. And Luis Garcia just freaking, I can't call him Quadzilla because Spencer Strider has that nickname, but I need to come up with a better nickname for Luis Garcia that has something to do with his freaking quads because my God, just massive tree trunks over there, Luis Garcia. I don't even think he can fit into the tight pants to like show off the quads. Like, I think he could be like the Hulk with those things and just be like, no. Luis Garcia fucking was like, Martin Perez, you sit down. I got this. It's okay. I got it. And just sat down the USA hitters for quite a long time. Quite a long time. And Kyle Tucker said, hey, Luis Garcia, I know we're teammates, but guess what? I'm going to just hit this fucking bomb off you. And at that point, can we just give Kyle Tucker all the fucking money? Just all of the monies. Just all of it.
So one thing I'll say, if you're not following Suzy when games are happening, you should. She is one of the best live tweets ever. You have to be following her. And she had a house divided. You know, her kids are on both sides of the fence. You know,
the one now hates baseball. The one now hates baseball because Jose Altuve got hit. She was very, very upset that Jose Altuve got hit. If you hear snoring, I apologize in advance. If you hear the snoring, and I don't care enough to edit that out later, it's my dogs. They're underneath my desk that I'm currently recording at. So if you hear the snoring, it's not Tom. It's my dogs underneath my desk. Anyhow, so I have 7-year-old twins. One's favorite player is Jose Altuve. The other's favorite player is Kyle Tucker. They named our cat Jose Altuve Kyle Tucker. That is its full name. We call him JT for short. The one loves Jose Altuve. Loves him. Very upset that Dad bought me the Jose Altuve Funko as opposed to her. She was like, "Oh, Dad bought me a present." I'm like, "No. Dad did not buy you a present. Dad bought me a present." She's like, "What? What?" So she's very mad. Anyhow, so when Jose Altuve went down last night with the hand injury, she declared that she hated baseball, that baseball was dead. I was like, those are harsh words, ma'am. That's not allowed in this house. Like, you can, no, you have, I'm like, you don't have to love the baseball, but you gotta like the baseball. I was like, he's gonna be back. Mama, why did he hit him? That's just mean. Yes, it's not that he meant to hit him, baby. Like, sometimes they do mean to hit him, but this was not that. This was not that. Okay. Daniel Bard did not have the control last night. And she goes, then why was he pitching? Fair point from the 7-year-old. Okay. Why? When I'm like, you saw that he didn't have the control there, Mark DeRosa. What's going on there? And I'm pretty sure someone else was like being warmed up. Was he not ready yet? Was that the issue? Was he not ready? Could we not have like slow walked Andy Pettit up there? Just Andy Pettit, just pretend that you are not a slim, trim, fit specimen of a man. I'm gonna need you to slow walk your ass up there so that we have time to get ready for whoever the fuck came in after him. I don't even know who came in after Daniel Bard. Freeland?
I was flipping back and forth between that, Dynamo Soccer, and Cougs and Longhorn basketball. So that's a lot of sports to intake at one time, Tom. The preview button on my remote, it's like the one button that's not there anymore because I hit it so many times. There's no
letters any longer.
All the other buttons look brand new, and that one is like, what's wrong with that button? I use it frequently. But in your daughter's defense, obviously we see where the passion comes from because mom clearly is not happy either. So I cannot fault her for that. It's one of those things. He had no business being in the World Baseball Classic. And a lot of people have made mention, if Team USA was serious about this tournament, they would have sent better pitching because you could list a mile long better pitchers than what they have in their bullpen and in their rotation.
Exactly. And we don't know where the invitations were sent and who declined said invitations. We know that Clayton Kershaw wanted to be here, was not allowed to be here. That, off the top of my head, is really the only pitcher that has come out and said that he wanted to pitch and wasn't allowed to pitch. But, I mean, there is 10 pitchers just right off the bat that could have been here that I don't know if they chose not to, if they were not invited. I don't know how that works. I know that Lance Lynn, quite honestly, I did not have faith in Lance Lynn. And I think maybe I'm tainted by Lance Lynn because everybody else has very high expectations of Lance Lynn and what he can do. But apparently against the Astros, he is not that pitcher. Not that pitcher. So I think my view of Lance Lynn is tainted because of that. Against everybody else, he's apparently a very good pitcher. He showed that last night. He was a very good pitcher. And so but you know, they told the story last night that he FaceTimed Mark DeRosa randomly late at night. He'd been drinking and his friends had dared him to FaceTime Mark DeRosa, and Lance Lynn told him that it would be an honor to pitch for Team USA. I'm not going to say that the USA pitchers don't have the patriotism that the other pitchers and the other nationalities do, but I mean, it kind of looks that way. Like, it really kind of looks that way. I understand money, contracts. I get it. I understand. You can't tell me, though, Shohei Ohtani, on the verge of probably being the first $500 million player, was going to sit this one out. Okay? He's not saying, hey, guess what, guys? I'm about to get my bag, so deuces. I'm gonna just be over here in spring training with the Angels, not pitching and not representing my country. And I get it. Like, the United States, I'm not going to go on that rant about how the United States is not patriotic, because quite honestly, that could be the entire podcast, and I'm not going to derail ourselves.
I'll do this. Small.
Okay.
So basically, me and Rob got together last night. We did some stuff, and it was the same thing. You know, why is it that there's this big controversy, big disparity? What is the issue? And I broke it down. I basically said, look, we as the United States are incredibly spoiled. The biggest league in all of baseball is played right here in our backyard. All these guys come from their various countries here to play. So for us, we feel like we're constantly represented. You know what I mean? We get to see them every day, 162. For them to play for their country in front of their fans, this is the only opportunity they get.
Right. That's the pinnacle. That's going to be the pinnacle of their career, essentially. I mean, I don't, I will say that the number of players that make it into the MLB is very, very small, and that playing for the WBC will be the highlight of their lives, essentially. I mean, and there've been so many interviews of these players, not United States players, but of the other countries, saying that putting on their country's uniform, having their country's name across their chest, is bigger than the World Series win. I mean, Christian Vasquez, we love Christian Vasquez, has won 2 World Series with 2 different teams, is saying that the World Baseball Classic, putting on that jersey, playing for his country, means more than those 2 World Series rings. And the comments in that video, if y'all haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the show notes. If you guys haven't seen that video, the comments about Christian Vasquez, mind blown. That how dare he put the country, maybe the country should pay. You want to tell me how that all that attitude, that is why the United States does not have their A1 pitching in the World Baseball Classic. That attitude right fucking there. Because you do not see those pitchers coming out and saying, let me put red, white, and blue on. Let me have USA across my chest. None of that. You don't see any of that. You see the Latin players. You see the Asian players doing that. If anybody is wondering why the rest of the world sees the United States as spoiled, ignorant fools, this may be it. This may be a shining example of why I say everyone, and that is being facetious, the majority of the people not in the United States sees us as spoiled, ignorant fools, because we're showing it right now, because we think that we are the center of the universe.
Now, I will
And
say this.
in a lot of respects, we are, but there are other points of view in life.
Now, I will say this. Mike Trout was interviewed. Mike Trout is thought to be one of the best American players to ever play the game. And he was very adamant about saying, hey, this is the best fun I've ever had on a baseball diamond. This has meant more to me than anything. Mookie Betts, another one, World Series champion, has come out and said, this is where I want to be. He went to Mark DeRosa before last night's game and said, you manage this like it's the World Series and don't care what anybody thinks. So to say
is that why we see Tim Anderson at second base as opposed to Jeff McNeil?
That I don't know. All those guys can obviously play, and you can ridicule who's in the lineup and who's not, but for me, I don't want to say that the players don't care. I will say that the fan base has a problem. I think the American fan base has a real problem because it's so, and this is something I said yesterday. It's so funny when the World Cup happens, we're those fans because America is not the center of the universe in soccer. We're those fans, rabid, hungry, crazy. Oh my God, bleed red, white, and blue. And the other country's like, bro, we've been doing this. What's
where
the deal?
Y'all been?
Yeah. This is where we live. What are y'all doing? This is cute, but
right.
We get up every time. We're like, oh my God. And it's because we're not the bully on the block. It's because we're trying to prove something. With baseball, it's the other way around. These countries, this is their first chance to say, hey, this is ours and we love it and this and that. And the United States, I think, as a fan base, maybe not the players, definitely some of the pitchers, I would think, if you're willing to pitch Max Scherzer in spring training, there's no business that you can't be pitching in this World Baseball Classic. You're throwing the same pitches, bro. I don't want to hear, well, I got to protect myself. You're not protecting yourself on that diamond. You're out there.
And didn't Max Scherzer go like 7 innings last night in his spring training game? There we go.
And they're not allowed to pitch that much in the World Baseball Classic. They're protected. So it's like, I refuse to hear anybody that says, and look, I don't want to say anything about what happened to Brandon Nimmo. I wish him the best. I don't want anything bad to happen to any player ever.
Exactly.
But when he came out and said, I need to be here because my owner paid all this money for us to win a World Series and I can't afford to be injured, and then I go get injured playing a spring training game, what on earth are you saying?
Exactly. Like that. I mean, sir, I realize that that's how you feel, but do you realize that now the perception is that Edwin, your teammate, Edwin Diaz, like your feelings on the whole Edwin Diaz situation and his knee injury is now, well, he shouldn't have been there, because that's the feeling that everybody got, right? And I wonder now, like, how's that gonna be in the clubhouse? Like, are Edwin Diaz and Brandon Nimmo gonna have some words at some point in time? But yeah, it is what it is, And I hope Edwin Diaz has a really fast recovery. Like, I'm so sad that he went down with a knee injury, because the sport is better when Edwin Diaz is in there. Like, I love the trumpets. I love that fanfare. I love his energy when he comes out. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Adam. No hate to Adam Ottavino. I'm very sorry, Adam Ottavino. Thank you for playing on Team USA. But Dave Robertson and Adam Ottavino as your Mets closer. Like, I'm not excited about that. Like, that's not going to sell out seats, right? Edwin Diaz and the trumpets and his energy and his fire. That's going to sell out some seats. It's maybe as much as baseball has been a quote unquote gentleman's sport, and the bat flipping and the celebrations and that whole thing, like, maybe we need to take a cue from the Latin players and the Latin culture and bring that in and integrate it a little bit, because the energy between, like, the DR and Puerto Rico game, like Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico game, the energy in that freaking stadium. If I ever get a chance to go, if the World Baseball Classic comes here, which that apparently, like, I don't know, that's the rumor or whatever in 4 years. If it comes here, and I have to sell a kidney and half of my liver to get seats, I will sell all of the feed pictures and be what black market organ donor, whatever, to get some sort of tickets to be at one of those games, because that energy is fucking electric. And I've obviously, as an Asian, as a Korean person that is a United States citizen, and I have no fan base here of either one. I just love the energy and love the baseball. I'm gonna go to one of those games. I'm gonna go to one of those games and I'm gonna soak it all in, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just that's what I'm going to do, because that energy, you can't tell me that we have that same energy at the World Series. Cause it's not. I could feel it through the freaking TV. And I'm so sad that people have taken the World Baseball Classic and said, what? It's an exhibition game. Oh my God, these players should not. No, because that shit is electric. Like, and I don't understand how you, as just a baseball fan, aren't eating this up with a spoon and just being so excited about such good baseball playing in fucking March. Like you don't get this hyped up over spring training games. You don't get this hyped up over a game in a Thursday night in April. I mean, USA plays Cuba tonight, which is why we couldn't record tonight, because I was like, oh, let's do it after my kids go to bed at like 7:30. Nope. Fuck that noise, because I'm going to be parked in front of my TV watching USA and Cuba. Okay? Like, again, y'all, people can have their feelings about, oh, the World Baseball Classic doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Those are your feelings. I mean, you're wrong, but you can have those feelings. That's fine. I don't understand. My brain is boggled that as a baseball fan, y'all aren't eating this up. That does boggle my brain. And knowing what I know now, I knew that Jose Altuve was going to fracture his thumb that is going to require surgery that they can't even do right now because the swelling has to go down. Yes, I still want the World Baseball Classic to happen. I still want Jose Altuve to represent his country, because I'm sorry, the Jose Altuve that played last night in that game, the Jose Altuve that had amazing play discipline. I'm like, what? Where's the free swinging Jose Altuve? Where's that guy?
Locked in.
He would, and it is the middle of March, y'all. Like, he was so excited to wear Venezuela on his freaking chest. You saw him in the freaking dugout. And not saying that he's not the same guy, but there was a different energy. You cannot tell me that watching Jose Altuve in that Venezuelan dugout, you cannot tell me that is not a different Jose Altuve than he is in the Astros dugout. There was a different light about him. Like, he looked like a kid in a fucking candy store. Also, have you seen the thing with Eduardo Escobar and how he's afraid of cats?
Yes, and how they are determined to put him and cats in the same room, in the same space. I think it's awesome, but you don't get that if they're not together.
Exactly. I think that's my favorite thing to come out of that and the signing of the Nicaraguan pitcher. We'll get to that in a second. But I think that's my favorite thing about the entire World Baseball Classic. The fact that Eduardo Escobar, third baseman for the Mets, is deadly terrified of cats. And all of his teammates are pranking him with cats and like throwing cats at him and like making cat noise, meows, hissing. And the videos are just freaking priceless. I love all of that. And that you don't see it. You don't see that in the dugout. Like freaking him playing a bongo drum. Is that, I don't know my drums, obviously. Is that a bongo that he was playing in the dugout?
Today it is. I'm with you. I don't know what it is. I'm calling it a bongo too.
I'm like, we're just gonna roll with that. People in the comments are gonna be like, no, it's not, Suzy. I'm like, that's fine. I'm sorry, I don't know my drums. But I want Jose Altuve playing bongos in the freaking Astros dugout. Why is there not someone playing bongos in the dugout is what I want to know.
Well, for the Astros now, it's they're cheating. They can't do anything in the dugout.
Oh, of course.
But here's the thing, and this is the thing that I've been trying to say for the last 2 weeks that people just don't seem to get. The World Baseball Classic isn't for us. Yes, they're putting on a show for us, but it's for the players. It's their tournament. The camaraderie that you spoke to, the way that they're able to come together, they can't do that throughout the year. You're not getting this semblance of players together. I mean, there was a picture, and I want to say it was the spring training game where it was the Astros playing Venezuela. And you had an awesome, you had Tuve, you had, who is their head coach, or is it their GM?
Omar Lopez?
Yeah. You had all these
Omar
guys.
Lopez, yep.
You had all these guys just sitting at the top step, just chopping it up. Ronald Acuna and all these great guys just telling stories and just doing things that they're not doing throughout the season. They're probably not doing in the off season because their schedules are so hectic.
Right.
So this is the only chance they get to come together, like their own little all-star game where it's their countrymen. Yeah. It's not for us. We're privileged to watch it because they are going balls to the wall with it from jump. And I think
I'm sorry, Luis Ariz? Who the fuck had Luis Ariz going deep one time? No. 2 times? Luis Ariz had hit 8 fucking home runs last season. He said, hold my beer, y'all. Okay? I got this. Don't worry. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to save it all up for the World Baseball Classic. Oh, you thought I was just a contact hitter? Watch me. I didn't have it on my bingo card. I did not have contact hitter Luis Ariz hitting 2 fucking home runs in the World Baseball Classic. I didn't have it.
No doubters at that. Like they were serious knocks. And see, that's what's so great about it. You talked about Altuve. Altuve tags out Tucker at second, trying to extend his hit. Yes. And they call it safe. And Tuve's up out of his crouch going review.
Out.
Yes. Running across the field. This thing meant so much to them. And if everybody just took 2 seconds and realized that, then go, okay. You know what I mean? Like we talk about with some of the United States players, nobody had a gun to anybody's head.
Exactly.
They could have all decided not to play. They wanted to be there and they wanted to do this. So why should anybody care at that point? To be selfish and go, oh, I need him in my dugout for 162. Well,
yeah.
Well,
and everyone's like, oh, well, he needed to be at spring training, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. I had more, I don't want to say confidence, but there was a bigger chance that Jose Altuve was going to get hit by a pitch at spring training than I had at the freaking World Baseball Classic. Okay. Again, I did not think that Daniel Bard was going to lose all freaking control and just spray baseballs freaking everywhere. All right. So this freak injury to Jose Altuve, while devastating to my psyche, it will not be devastating to the Astros for very long. He will still be there in spirit, hopefully. I don't know. When you're rehabbing, can you be in the dugout? I didn't think you could be in the dugout. I don't know.
I think you can. I think they are on home games. Okay. I think when they go on the road, they probably don't go to stay and get treatment by their own physicians, stuff like that. But I want to say when Lance was down, Lance was in the dugout. I know last year at the end of the season, Michael Brantley, he was rehabbing. He was at every game.
So, yes, my short king, Jose Altuve, that we poured one out. Well, I poured one out for you. Tom doesn't love you enough, Jose Altuve, to pour one out. I apologize. Shots fired. Anyhow,
we'll pour multiples out for you, Jose. Promise.
Okay.
I'm going to be with Suzy next week, pouring out all kinds of things. Promise. At the bar.
Yes, at the bar. And what Tom is referring to is the meetup that Shelby and I are having at Brewski's. I was going to say Sharky's again. Brewski's in Stafford next Sunday from 11 to 1. One of our listeners, Will, apparently there is a great bar in Stafford called Brewski's that he frequents. They watch the games. One of the bartenders there, Jesse, is a big Astros fan. Will listen to the show. Told Jesse. Jesse liked the show. Shout out Jesse. I have your name blazoned in my brain now because I'm an idiot and could not remember it and called you Brandy. I'm very sorry about that. Is going to host us Tom's going to be there. Other fun people are going to be there. Cam, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago, closer for the Celts. Damn it. University of St. Thomas. There we go. Words are hard. Closer. Also, Clutch City Cast Pod. There we go. Host. He's going to be there, along with other cool friends. So come hang out. Enjoy some drinks, enjoy some baseball talk. We can fight about the World's Baseball Classic in person if you would like. Who will be our second baseman? David Hensley, you're up. Anyone that is saying Mauricio Dubon, I will literally fight you. And Shelby will give you one of her playing cards, trading cards. Maybe she'll even sign it for you. I don't know. We may or may not have merch. I'm going to have a really fun shirt. I also designed another really fun shirt that may or may not make its debut. We shall see. But come hang out with us. We'll put another post on the social medias about that. We've been kind of touting it as well. Excuse me. So, but yeah, I'm very sad. I'm very sad about Jose Altuve because he's not the guy that is typically hurt for a while and we don't see. And because he is the heartbeat of that team. He is the soul of that team. And it does make me a little sad that he won't be there for a while, but that's okay. Because you know what? David Hensley, you're up at second base. That's who I'm putting my chips on.
I also feel like that opens up the opportunity for more guys to make the roster. Justin Dearden's had an amazing spring training. If he shows up with his bat, I think that's a guy that you can add to the roster. We'll just have to see. It's not like they won't have very capable bodies. I think in years past, you'd be worried about what the Astros are going to be able to do. But they've had so many positive contributions throughout their minor league system. I feel like it's just going to be next man up. Those guys have been really good about scouting out the next whoever, and I think they'll be just fine. It will be nice in the middle of May or whenever he comes back to be like, oh look, we just added this World Series, hero. I don't know how many All-Stars, probably going to get 3,000 hits to our lineup. That was already probably pretty good anyway. Yeah.
We had Kenny Van Doren on the Back That Astros Up just a little bit ago. That one is already up on Variety Sports Network YouTube. That was a live show that we did on our sister show, Back That Astros Up. So I chatted with him about Justin Dearden because I love him and I want him on the roster very, very soon. And he was saying probably not. And that made me a little sad. He will probably start in AAA, and he is thinking that it will probably either be JJ Matijevic or Blind Madris that will be on the thing. And I was like, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. I'm like, I don't want either one of those. I want the other guy. But Justin Dearden making great progress, and if he does keep making that progress, I do feel like he will probably make that roster. Maybe All-Star break. Maybe we shall see. But yeah, I think David Hensley, 6'6" second baseman with some range over there and his height, like especially now that there is the shift rules. I'm just saying that maybe a second baseman that is a foot taller than our current second baseman may be a benefit. I'm just saying. I've been on the David Hensley train from very, very far back. And with Michael Brantley maybe not being ready for the season, maybe we see an outfield of Chaz and Jake and Kyle Tucker. I mean, obviously Kyle Tucker is going to be there, our tall king, who, if he does test free agency, it will just be all of the sads. All of the sads. Like, you want to talk about the player, how people feel about Carlos Correa and George Springer leaving? That is what I will feel like when Kyle Tucker leaves. If Kyle Tucker gets his bag, I don't have words.
It's not looking good. I mean, obviously you've got guys that are coming up, not just him, Framber, and then shortly thereafter, season or two following, I can't remember, it's going to be Altuve and then Bregman. The new GM, Dana Brown, has already been on the record as saying he wants to see Alex Bregman and Altuve retire as Astros. So when you think about things and you think about where all the money's got to go, I would absolutely love if Jim Crane just says, you know what, screw it, spend all the money, keep all the guys. Do I think he'll do that? No.
Do you think maybe if he gets the Astros and Rockets TV rights, like that money, maybe that will be a thing.
If he does, then I want it, because I would love for this group.
I want this group.
Just keep that group together, whatever you got to do. That's why I'm so jealous of what the Atlanta Braves have, because they found a way to sign all their young talent and lock them up for 5 or 6 years.
Listen, they have Anthopoulos Island, Tom. Okay, that's how they got all of those young players to sign. So I don't know. We need to find Dana Brown's back room office. I don't know. I can't come up with a witty.
Well, Dana lived on the island for a little bit. That's why I'm hoping that he can make it happen. It's
like there's a lot of little islands that no one knows about down here, Dana Brown. So you holler at me. We'll take you out to a couple of them. You can stash all of the peoples there. Okay. I'm not advocating for kidnapping, but maybe I am. I don't know. I won't begrudge Kyle Tucker if he gets his bag, but I will just be all of the sads. Just all of the sads. Like, so sads. I think sad.
Kyle Tucker gets his bag regardless. It's just a
of
question
where he goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, it will sufficiently break my heart if he leaves and goes to another team, but it will damn near kill me if he goes to 2 teams that shall not be named. It will literally kill me if those 2 teams get him. I just, and one of those teams desperately needs a left fielder. All of the left. And anyways, that's why we started an Astros show so that we could talk about the Astros fully. I apologize to all of our baseball fans of other teams, not the Astros, that we're just concentrating on the Astros, but I had to be sad. I had to be sad and had to let all the words out about our short king, Jose Altuve. And I just had to be sad because he's our short king. And that just makes me so sad. But anyways, let's talk about WBC tonight. Team USA versus Team Cuba tonight at 7 p.m. Central. Who's pitching for us? Do we know that yet?
Let's find that out.
Let's find out.
I do not know.
And then the winner gets the winner of Mexico and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So Mexico and Japan is tomorrow night, and Cuba and us are tonight. And I quite honestly, did not have USA beating Venezuela. So in my head, I really feel like while I don't think we will trounce Cuba, I think we have a very good chance to beat Cuba. And apparently it's going to be a toss-up between Japan and Mexico, because I did not have Mexico beating... Who did they beat to come in?
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico? So, I didn't have that on my scorecard, my Big O scorecard either, that Mexico was going to be in the finale. I don't think it has the starting pitchers for tonight, does it? Nope, that was last night. So I don't even know the pitchers for Cuba. I literally only know like Juan Moncada and Luis Robert.
They're not a very strong team. It's really interesting that they are where they are. They didn't have like the best bracket. I mean, they didn't have to go through the juggernaut that Mexico did with the Dominican and Puerto Rico, but yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of guys that could have been on that roster, I'm sure, that were not on that roster. But
side note, did you see that story about Randy Rosarena? I'm like, while we're on the subject of
amazing.
Team Cuba.
Really amazing.
So if you guys did not hear that story, oh, of course Brandon Bielak gave up a solo home run to Victor Mesa for a walk-off. Oh, it's not a walk-off. Is it a walk-off? Top of the ninth? Oh, yeah. No, it's a walk-off. Yeah, yay.
That's okay.
It's spring training where the points don't matter and the games don't count. Okay. If you guys are not aware, Randy Rosarena defected from Cuba. There's a great story from the Twitter account Baseball Life, I think. I will link that story in the show notes. But basically, Randy Rosarena defected from Cuba. His first season, he was getting paid $4 a month. $4 a month. I'm sorry, what? His second season, he was getting paid apparently higher than his mom. He was getting paid $38 a month, and they would not let him. Cuba would not let him go play in a tournament in high school because they were worried about him defecting with good reason. And he defected to Mexico, had to share cleats, had to share equipment with another prospect. Finally, got signed to the Cardinals for $1.75 million. And managed to get his brother and his mom and his wife all in Mexico, and pleaded with the Mexican president for citizenship via Instagram. And that if he was granted citizenship, that he would play for Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. Now, tell me again how the World Baseball Classic doesn't matter. Like, how are you not romantic about baseball, people?
Exactly.
My brain is broken when you hear stories like this, and you want to talk about big game fucking Randy Rosarena, like tearing the cover off the freaking ball. Anytime he's up, you're like, oh, all right, another double? Okay, cool. And then that catch he made, oh my gosh. That catch was just, I thought it was gone. I was like, oh, not gonna get
it. The cameraman didn't do you any justice, right? Like
yeah.
They had you staring up into the bleachers, and then the ball drops, right on the warning track.
And Randy Rosena's like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
And just watch the games, y'all. If you are not locked into the pool play, that's fine. That's okay. Like, I don't expect you to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to watch Korea and Japan. Like, that's okay. I get it. But
Suzy was there, though.
I was there, and I was very sad. Fucking Japanese mother. Anyways, but watch these games, okay? Watch the semis, because you want to talk about electric atmosphere. You are going to feel it through the frickin' TV. And tonight, with Cuba being in the World Baseball Classic and making it this far for the first time in forever, the first time ever. I think that's what it is. In Miami, you want to talk about home road atmosphere. Like, it is just going to be all of the Cubans. Like, it's going to be loud. It's going to be loud and it's going to be proud. And at this point, I don't care what Cuba does. Cuba will be very proud.
Quick note, Adam Wainwright will be pitching for Team USA.
Oh, Jesus
against
Christ.
left-hander Roenis Elias for Team Cuba.
Adam Wainwright, I love Adam Wainwright's personality.
Like, you're trying to, it's got a real nice personality, like a dating thing, right? Like, that's how I describe this person.
Yes. I love his old man walks that he takes to decompress after games. I loved Adam Wainwright in the late 2000 teens. I don't love Adam Wainwright as a starter. That, again, this goes back to the whole, like, what the fuck, United States, when Adam Wainwright is your fucking ace. I'm so sorry, Adam Wainwright. Like, I do. I love you. I do.
You're not supposed to be the ace for the United States.
Dylan Cease, Spencer Strider,
All young guys.
Max Fried. I'm trying not to have a conniption. If you hear the silence, if you're only audio and you're hearing silence, it's because I'm gesturing and not trying to let loose a string of cuss words.
And like, here's the thing. You don't even have to go to that level. If you'd have told me Forrest Whitley was pitching tonight, now we're biased, but I like that better than Adam Wainwright. If you'd have told me JV 2.0 was pitching tonight, I like that a whole lot better than Wainwright. Sure. And I think there's other fan bases that would agree. Like
Hunter Green.
Yes.
Could you not have Ben Joyce? If you're not familiar with Ben Joyce, he is the motherfucker that throws 105 miles an hour that just came into the Angels organization from the Tennessee Volunteers. Just ridiculous. Yeah.
Go get me some of those young aces that just got selected. Kumar Rocker. I don't know if he would be USA.
Jack Leiter.
Exactly.
Jack Leiter. Where the fuck are you?
Exactly. Like I mean, that's just off the cusp. I mean, I'm sure if we had a list, I could just go on and on and on. So whoever the general manager is going, you know what? They basically were saying, we don't need pitching to win this thing.
I'm like, when you look at the boppers that we have in the lineup, yes, but we all know that good pitching beats good hitting. What the fuck are you going to do against Shohei Ohtani? You're not hitting Shohei Ohtani that apparently now is throwing 103 miles an hour? That's just not fair. Well,
hitting home runs off of one knee.
Just and then the two pitchers behind him that are going to come. What Roki Sasaki? Am I saying that right? I don't think I'm saying that right. I'm not Asian. I'm not Japanese. Okay?
Me neither.
Like you can come for me because I am. I'm not Japanese. I'm Korean. All right. Like you give me some Korean names. Ha-sung Kim. Okay. Like Tommy Edman. All right. Like I can say the Korean names. Apparently can't say the Japanese names. But Jesus, that hurts my heart. Anyways, this was just this episode was just a pain for Jose Altuve space. If you are following our social media, you would have seen that we gave a Kyle Tucker stretch bobblehead, our King Tuck, away, and we did the drawing live on the Back That Astros Up show. That was won by our good friend, the real M. Cortez, Mario. If you are familiar with Astros Twitter, you will know Mario because he is amazing. And during the season, he and I'm losing his actual name, but his Twitter name is Messi. Do you know what his name is? Mario's.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm like, do you know who I'm talking about? Like Mario's co-host on the spaces that he hosts. They host some spaces, and apparently they're going to get a podcast started as well. Super awesome guys. Mario won that, and listener retweets our stuff. We love him. He won the Kyle Tucker stretch bobblehead. So I'm going to message him after this and tell him that he won so that he can give me his address, or he can show up to the get together and I can give it to him in person. I feel like there was something else that I was going to say about the things, but no, I think that's it.
Roki Sasaki is starting for Japan tomorrow.
Of course he is. Of course, Rocky.
He's 21, and he will be facing Patrick Sandoval for Team Mexico.
I don't have Mexico doing well in that. I don't have Mexico doing well. I'm very sorry about that. But I mean, like, because Japanese baseball is fucking huge. It's fucking huge in Japan. Like, you want to talk about how Texans view their football and Friday Night Lights? Like, that is what baseball is over there, but on like a country level. So when you tell me that the World Baseball Classic doesn't mean anything to us. It means all the things to the other people.
Did you hear that story where they passed around a Shohei Ohtani home run, like
Home
around
run.
the stadium?
Yep.
That's not happening anywhere else. Like, no way.
That is Japanese culture and the respect given in a nutshell, essentially. Like, you wanted everyone that goes and visits Japan is just absolutely amazed at how clean everything is there, because the level of personal responsibility there is huge, because they clean up after themselves, because they don't expect other people to clean up after them. So there's not trash on the streets, because heaven forbid you litter. That's not a thing that Japanese people do. It's not a thing. We talk about the World Baseball Classic, like in that video that that I was referencing earlier about Christian Vasquez. Apparently, they did not have crime for 4 days. They're like, during the while the World Baseball Classic was going on, they didn't have crime. What? You mean to tell me that an exhibition game is shutting down the country and essentially not having crime? I can't. I'm dying. I'm dead. I died. But that's. Do you have any other words on this, Tom? Because I have no more words, and I'm going to close the show. So, do you have any more words on World Baseball Classic or anything?
I'm telling everybody, and I know I've kind of banged this drum, but I will continue to, only because you gave me the opportunity. This thing is so awesome, and it's something that people need to step back and respect more, and just kind of take a closer look at things, because you can see it on these players' faces. You can see it in the stands. People are fully invested. And I think if we took the time, and I say we as, the U.S. fan base took the time to kind of see what that means, then maybe we would understand why, hey, probably we shouldn't mess with that. You know what I mean? We're okay with this. Shouldn't move it. I know people have talked about moving it to a different time. Nobody's trying to play this thing in the middle of December, January timeframe when it's freezing everywhere. I think it's perfect where it's at. I think the players that are going to come out of this thing are going to be playing at a different level than everybody else that was at spring training. I think they're going to be so locked in. You're going to see these guys use the success they had. Jeremy Pena gets knocked out the next day, 2 bombs, 3 for 3 with a single, 2 bombs. And you think that is not representative of him being just ratcheted up another level for this tournament?
Yeah.
Come on. So I'm a huge fan.
I've been staring at the stake on your hat. Why do you have a stake on your hat?
So funny story.
What is that about? I
didn't do it. Everybody asked about the stake. So the Astros hat, and I'm going to take my headset off for a second.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
I bought the hat for the spaceship, because I work on space flight hardware, like my main job. So I saw the rocket, Astros, got to have it.
Right.
It came with the stake on it. That was part of the hat. And everybody's just so weirded out by the stake. I love it. I'm like, I'm the stake. That's why, because I'm the steak.
You're like, I'm a whole meal. Do you not?
The whole thing.
I was very confused. So for our audio only listeners, this entire time that we have been recording, Tom has been wearing a hat backwards that I didn't know what team it was. And it just had a T-bone. It had a T-bone steak, like on, I think it was T-bone. I don't know. I don't know my steaks. I don't know my cuts of meat, apparently. It had a steak.
We got to learn drums. We got to learn cuts of meat. We got so many things.
Right. Listen, I'm on the baseball train. Okay. That's the only thing that I have room for in my brain, along with polynomials. All right. Like that, baseball and math is the only things that I have room for in my brain. So Tom was wearing this hat backwards and with the steak on it. And he just now turned it around. So there's the H, the Houston H, and a rocket on the front of it. I don't ever think I've actually seen this hat.
And that's what makes it so cool. It's like so rare. Like there's only that I know of. I've only talked to one other person that's seen it. Everybody else was like, lids.
Where did you get this hat?
Lids.
Like
it was
at
just
the
in
store?
The lids. Yeah. Not a special order thing. Nothing. It was just in the lids. I saw the rocket. And I was like, I need that hat. And the steak is what gets me all the compliments, not the rocket.
Hysterical. That is hysterical. Okay. So if you're an audio only listener and you hear this and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like go to the YouTube, like and fast forward to the 59-minute mark and see what we're talking about. Anyhow, so we're going to close the show. We appreciate everyone listening. Last week's episode was called the one where Australia loves us. Australia still loves us, Tom. They love y'all's podcast too, that you and Rob have, but they love us because we are still somehow on the charts, and I don't know why, I don't know how, but we have a very strong Australia contingent that listens to us. So we thank you, all of our Australia listeners. Jules, I think that you're leading the pack there. USA listeners, I don't know where the F you all are at because we are not on the charts here, and that kind of hurts my heart. I'm just saying. But y'all, if you could get on the train, that would be appreciative. So rate, review the 5 stars, and subscribe and listen to the show and share with all of your friends. We would definitely appreciate that. Tom, tell the peoples where they can find you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would appreciate if when you're done checking out all the Back That Astros Up and all the Bourbon and Baseball, if you're looking for a little bit more Astros content, slide on over to that Astros Baseball podcast. Me and my co-host Rob Fondo, we have a little bit more PG-13 look at it. Not that I don't believe as a military guy that you can't drop the F-bomb whenever the F you need to, because I will. But, you know, we want to be able to let the kids listen in, and we want to be able to give all the stats and things. I love what Suzy's doing because when I'm thinking, she's saying what I'm thinking. I don't always get to say what I'm thinking. She gets to say what I'm thinking. So I think that's great. But we're also, you know, diehard Astros fans, both of us, trying to cover the team. I mean, that's normally what we do. We've got some fun stuff that we do, whether it's fair or foul or would you rather, just little things that we try to make it more interactive. We try to hit y'all up on social medias. Rob has faithfully got us on everything you can think of: Insta, Facebook, Twitter. Find me on Twitter at ThirdCoastTom. Find him at Rob Fondo, the show at Astros Baseball Pod, and come check us out.
Yeah. So with that, we will close the show. Tom, again, I appreciate you taking the time out and filling in for Shelby while she had her little family emergency. And with that, we will see y'all next week. Yay, baseball!